All right, guys, what's going on? Today is the 1st of February, new month, new me. Tuesday, let's go. Was the analysis, I mean, the top down, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to preface it. We're just going to dive right in. So you can see here on the 2-day, right? I decided to use the 2-day because it was super clean on the 2-day. And I said, look, we have this nice imbalance there, nice order block. We have this breaker block here that it swerved beautifully right, or it went beautifully right through, smacked it, swept some structure. We were looking for longs from down here. We had a couple longs, beautiful, comes right back up here. And now this is where we're looking for some short plays, right? And again, you can see here right at the beginning of the day, either it's coming down or it's just going to be used as just a retracement down into this gap right here before continuation up. Regardless, not too sure. I believe that there's still one more down because on the higher time frame, that's what I believe is still available, and we'll look into that, but so you can see what I mean. Really, from right here, it was pretty nice, right? We had the previous day high right here. I just kind of shifted it up to the big figure of 12,500s. Okay. So we had that previous day high liquidity pool. You can see in London, we open up, run down, run up, consolidate into pre-New York. And then we got a little bit of a run in pre-New York, taking out these equal highs on London. Now I was anticipating downside into the 12500s and also Asia high right here, 125 450s. So that was where I was looking at to go long for the day. And then I would just anticipate any developments other than that. But I was thinking that this was going to be the inducement here, right? We have up, down, up. So anyone would be longing right here. Those get swept into discount of this price leg, and then we continue up from there. So that was the plan. And you can see after London, I was I'm looking for shorts here. You can see for me, I like shorts from these levels. If presented with an entry model down to 12500s. So my idea was actually spot on. But I'll show you where I was wrong. And I think it's important to note because it just comes down to being a little bit better prepared. And I think today would have been a little bit different in regards to the outcome. And so you can see here, I actually had a limit set up here, and we'll dive in onto the 1 minute why I was actually looking right there. I saw the breaker block here, but there was these equal highs, and there was a beautiful, beautiful order block right there that I was looking at on the 1 minute. And then you can see here, yeah, like I was looking at that this was going to be like the SMC trap, and I thought that price was going to come back down into this level before going up. Now, this is when things started to change, was when it swept that SMC trap right at 830, and then we get this strong move out of it. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it needed to sweep what it had to sweep, because this was actually a 1 hour order block. This was all just a 1 hour order block. So we returned back into the extreme point of that 1 hour order block, and potentially it was going up from here. And you can see that from this low to this high, you can see the OTE right here with all the sweeps underneath here. I thought that might have been it. And that's kind of where the idea started to fail at. But at that point, I knew I wasn't taking any trades here. I didn't actually take this one because of the news. And I don't like to put limits right when the news event is going. Or right as soon as the news event starts. So I just waited, and then it swept those lows one more time, and it actually swept this low as well. At that point was when I thought it was going to go long, and it didn't. And so I was just a little bit upset, because not upset with a loss, but upset with the analysis on and how I executed. So basically what I wanted to do something a little bit special today, because I wanted to actually provide some insight as to why I went wrong, and potentially backtest the whole day utilizing the daily cycle, because I know got a couple questions about that. And today was a really great day for that. So I'll just show you from top down. And again, we'll start with the same analysis, right? From the 2-day, and then we'll go down. So initially I'm looking at this breaker block plus this order block combination. I think that that's going to prove to be a significant point where liquidity is pooling, right? I think that we're going to have some sort of reaction from this level. Albeit if it's from 1.1300's big figure, right? Or if it's just a little bit higher within the 50% of this, it doesn't matter to me. We'll eye it down, but let's go down to the daily now. So we start off with that. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go down to the daily. Okay, and you can see this is where I just went straight from the 2-day and down. Whereas if you know my operating procedures, the one that I typically post in the group, you'll know that, well, I mark these out all the time, right? But because I was just so bullish for today, because I know that we swept this monthly low, and I knew that we had some great momentum. I knew I was looking at the previous day's high to get taken right here, which happened in London. So it offered a great setup. But this is how you can use the daily cycle in London as well, right? As the new day begins. So I'm anticipating a bullish candle at least to this hidden base. Okay, and now we'll refine that on the smaller time frames, right? So we go down to the day, or sorry, the 4 hour, and you can see, look at that. We can refine it to this high probability order block right here, right? High probability order block that broke structure. It had a sweep above it, and now we have this massive run, right? So this is really where that liquidity was. So this is where my mistake was. I wasn't aware of the fact that we were in this 4 hour key point, which is a daily fill and a daily hidden base. And so we're right here. So to me, it's like, to me, I shouldn't be looking for longs in here until it gets down to deep discount, right? So again, just a minor thing to improve, but that's all. Okay, so now we know the direction. We know that we're looking to take out the previous day high, just based off of how structure is, right? We sweep, we go up, we have a bunch of imbalance to go fill. We have a previous day high right here. Okay, so now we can start going down. We don't have to refine anything too much. I mean, we can still refine this further if we wanted, but obviously you want to just keep the zone there so you're aware of it. And then then you can mark out your refinements, say like this. So if it does get up to there, then you can be confident. But if it just starts turning right at that level, then you can also be confident that that's going to hold, because that's going to be the higher time frame level. So again, in last night's video, you can see that I actually called out that we were probably going to get a little like a correction or some sort of turning point from here. And it actually did that beautifully. Right as soon as we took out Asia highs right here, right? We have Asia highs that were swept, filled that little imbalance right there, tagged it, and then we start breaking down. I personally thought it was going to come down a little bit lower, down to around here, and then we were going to get some upside. But that's fine, right? If I just pull up the kill zones here. So let's just fast forward through to Asia. Okay, so boom. What do we have here in Asia? We have, first of all, let's go down, let's go up to the 1 hour, 4 hour. Again, let's just be, 1 hour. Yeah, it was like I said yesterday, see these little points on the sell side of the curve, right? These little order blocks, you can see that they're used, right, on the buy side of the curve. And so the same thing was going to happen right here. And you can see that's where the price have tapped onto, right, on the sell side. And then obviously there's probably going to be one if it breaks above there. And so that's why I was also looking at this level, right? I told you the 500 level down to the 450s, because I knew that it was somewhere going to be around here that it was probably going to hold. But anyways, let's go back. Let's go into the daily cycle portion of it. So what do we know in the daily cycle? If we're expecting a bullish day, right? And this happened in London beautifully today. So if we're expecting a bullish day based off of our higher time frame analysis, which we are here, then what should the daily cycle look like? This is again all according to ICT's concepts that he teaches for free on his YouTube channel. So go check that out if you want more information on it. I'm just regurgitating what he taught me, and essentially, just explaining my thought process to it as well. So you have your opening of the day, which is going to be at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get that sweep down. This is going to be your London. That's going to be the low of the day. And then you're going to get the high of the day, and you're going to get that retracement. And then essentially that's going to make the body of the candle. And then you're going to have a wick and a wick, right? That's going to be the way that your day forms. And so what we can do is we can mark out right here. If I just mark out, where is it? Right here, right? That's the daily open. So I'll just put it. Okay, daily open. So that means anything really in discount or below this is going to be discount for the day. Now, is there anything that can make us, or that we can use as a swing point? Well, first of all, we mitigated off of the sell side point of the curve there, and you can see, where did we mitigate? this nice imbalance here. We didn't mitigate the whole thing, but we filled it, and that's essentially all it needed. How do we know that? Well, because we start breaking a nice swing point right here to indicate that, yes, now we're back into bullish structure. If we're back into bullish structure, you can see right here, we had another imbalance, we mitigated it, and boom, we broke up. Now, if we're below the daily open, we're anticipating price to retrace somewhere into this leg, and then we can continue that to start targeting the daily highs because they haven't even been taken yet. So there's a very high probability they're going to be taken yet, or they're going to be taken in this day, either from this point or potentially if it sweeps Asian low, then we can be even more confident to take it from there as well, right? But regardless, if we have a good setup here, we have to take it, and we do. We have a swing break right here, right? We have a little bit of a sweep on that structure. We break up. We have the daily highs right there, okay? So right here, I'd be looking for something like this, right? So you can see we have our OTE entries somewhere around there. It gives us an idea of where to look. Let's go, excuse me, on the lower time frame. We can inspect, and personally, what I see right here is we see this one again right in that key level. We have a sweep on structure right there, and we have a break of structure right there. Sweep on liquidity and break of structure, sorry. You can see all of this is pretty well mitigated. So I would honestly be looking at this as being, let's see, the 10-minute, 15-minute. So yeah, that looks, to me, that looks more like our swing level right here, just in that wick. But we'll leave it just how it is like this with Asia, okay? So we go, you can see the start, how things are developing. Actually, yeah, see, because it didn't even hit within that. That's fine. But you can see, look at this, right? So if I just go the bodies, you can see it did hit right here, right here. Potentially you wouldn't have caught that one, right? That's fine. What do you get out of it? We have a sweep. We have an order block. Let's see if we get a nice little fair value gap in between. We do. So this is going to be our fair value gap right there. And now what we can do is once this high is locked in like there, we can measure it like this. So we have another OTE entry right here. We have a beautiful order block, beautiful fair value gap right there. So you can take it directly right from there, right? We have confluence right at the order block as well as the 62 right at the top there. Now again, right, if we are bullish for the day, this is all going to be discount on the day, right? Anywhere below that daily open is going to be discount. Well, then where are we going to be targeting? The daily high is definitely a good level, but we can be looking at somewhere between 10 pips, okay, 10 pips and 20 pips above the daily high for intraday targets. And you can see, look at the alignment on that 1.5, the negative 1.5 target, negative 2.5. Obviously, we know that we have a 4-hour point of interest right up here, and we have the 207 or 2700 big figure, 2750 big figure up there. So again, that could be your target, right? You can be targeting up here and then up here. Again, that's a 7R. So let's see how this one plays out. Okay, and there you go. So that was it. If you look at that, it's just super beautiful. And you can actually see there was even another opportunity. If you missed that one and then you wanted to get in again, there's your order block right there. This one is definitely a little bit riskier. Let's see on the 2-minute, maybe there's like a fair value gap. Yeah, there is. Okay, so there's a nice order block right here on the 2-minute, fair value gap right there. And so you could have taken that one. And again, this is how you can get those really super tight stops if that's what you want. Again, not my style to be trading with 1.3 pip stops, to be honest, but again, it's possible. And you can do that. And that would be your target of a 22R. And it's completely viable, right? So this one was good. I would have personally taken that one there if I were up in London, and that offered a good, what, 3.8 pips. Sorry. What was it? The stop. It was, yeah, about 4 pips, we'll just say. And again, the target, we can be targeting right up here. So yeah, that was basically it for London. There was no other real opportunities as far as I could see, but that's how you use that daily cycle, right? Where, again, just to reiterate, this is all going to be discount for the day. We have we have some breaks of structure. We know that this is going to be the target. We can see this bullish structure coming in. We get a retracement down to the OTE of this and this, and then we get our confirmation entry right there on the lower time frame. Okay, that's fine. We can take that up. And so that's what happened, because again, it happened in London. London's probably going to be the low of the day, and that's essentially what happened there. Okay, so daily high was taken, and now I'm confident that in New York, what am I anticipating? Pre-New York to come down into OTE of this, and then we're going to be targeting one more time. And again, that's why I was looking at the 2-day level up there, up at basically 12880s. That was where I was going to be looking at to target to finish up for the day. And so let's just skate on through here. You can see consolidation. Look at that. As soon as it hits that target, right? That target that we were looking at, you get that 20 pip target. Look at that consolidation. Hits it, hits it, hits it. Look at the respect there. It's really interesting how that works. Additionally, we'll just take all that off again. So now my bias is that if we're going to continue up, right, then we're probably going to continue up from here. However, again, just like I marked out, this is going to be the London liquidity pool. Anywhere above this London high is going to be buy side liquidity. And you can see it's in the form of a correction as well, which is really good, because you know that it's just accumulating orders above and below. And so eventually we're going to want to take these out on either side. Now we get this very inefficient run. This is where the analysis failed, okay? Because I didn't realize we were in a 4-hour level. All I thought, because I didn't have the 4-hour level on, I just had the 2-day one on up here. So I knew that we were going to get up to there, and if I knew that we were in a 4-hour level, I would have been way, way more adamant. If this broke here to come back up here, I would have been way more adamant on taking the shorts from here to get down into this level, bare minimum to this level, to start going up again, right? Because again, this is still the ideal play, right? We're still in structure. And if I actually look on the 4-hour, right, you can see that the actual structure is right here, right? This is going to be the structure here where we have our order block down here. So this is going to be our low. And so it can literally come all the way back down into this order block before it proceeds to the upside. So let me just take off everything off the chart here, just so we can line it back up super nicely. Again, we have our daily open right here. Again, this is the low of the 4-hour order block, right? So if this is the low of it, and then we have our essentially key area to be looking at right here. We do have inducement here, so that makes this viable, that this makes a potential viable long from here if given the opportunity. And if not, then it's probably going to sweep underneath this as well, and then come into like this order block or something that just didn't get mitigated there, and then continue up, if it's going to continue up, to go to the 2-day. But it can just turn from the 4-hour and continue down like nothing. And so, you know, we had that's where I just had to sharpen up a little bit. So again, this was what I was initially looking at, because I said, hey, you know what? We have London low here. This should be the low of the day. Again, we're consolidating into New York, pre-New York. And so I was waiting for this. This is just going to be an inducement to continue up like that. That was my thought process, which again was completely fine. It was just more of an issue of the execution. So at this point, after we get the 1, 2, 3 sweep here, right? We sweep this London liquidity, significant liquidity pool, into 4-hour order block. Super interested in this now. Okay. And so at this point, this is when I started to get on the charts, and I was looking at taking a short here. And I'll show you what I was looking at, or where I was looking at taking a short. Okay. I was looking right here. I was looking at entering right on this block, and you'll see why in a second. Right here, boom. I thought for sure that we were going to come up right above there. And so I had my limit there, and I just had my stop above this high, because again, if we look at what's going on here, we have a sweep of liquidity right there. We have a break in structure, break in significant structure, in my opinion. And so this is going to be the retracement. These are going to be these little legs underneath or within these fractal swing prices. And so these are easily going to get rinsed, and then the price comes down, and it could easily rinse all the way up to here as well, take out 1 and 2 before coming down. And again, I just knew that we were going to likely target all this, because this was just an accumulation of orders on an intraday basis. We come up very inefficiently. We have our sweep. We come back up here. So I for sure thought we were going to come back down to here, which we ended up doing. But I was just, yeah, just didn't take the shorts, unfortunately, as I initially wanted to, because they ran like this. Okay, so it didn't quite get there. And again, if we mark out this, you can see this is what I was looking at, where I said, look, there's probably gonna be a lot of the smart money traders looking at trading this. So I said that I called this the smart money trap right here, right, where we had a little bit of a sweep inducement. And I knew if people were gonna be looking for to go long there, there's probably gonna be a reaction, right? And then 8:30, or sorry, 10 a.m. was the news, but I said I wanted to see a nice sweep through here so I can be confident in taking it. What ended up happening at 8:30, we get that sweep, right? And then we get this breakup like this. And so I thought now that because this is a 1 hour swing point right here, okay, and we'll just draw it out so you can see what I'm saying. We have swing point, consolidation, swing point. And so I was anticipating that if that broke and now we get this response and breaking structure here, I was anticipating that, oh, okay, maybe that was just the New York retracement. And now we had, right, the consolidation, the sweep, the up, the pullback. This whole thing is going to be the pullback. And then we have that New York run to take out the highs. And then that's going to be the real reversal. And so, yeah, basically, as soon as we broke significant points in liquidity right here, I just, I set an order immediately that I was looking at this to come back down into here and go, because I was also looking at, was it a 2 minute? Yeah, I think it was a 2 minute. We had a nice 2 minute FVG right here, right? An imbalance like that, just as, again, ICT teaches. So I was anticipating that this was now going to respect somewhere around here, come back down, and then go at least targeting up into this level. Where was that? There. At least targeting up at that level, right? And because now, if you look at it on a 1 hour, and that's the thing, or sorry, what was it? The 15, like, sure, we didn't get a closure or anything, but we did break a significant point. And again, we already know that if it's going to be or retrace down to OTE levels, it's at least going to be into here, right? It's at least going to be into there. And you can see, you know, we have some clear imbalance here. To me, this was just a good setup. We swept significant liquidity pool. We have a consolidation, sweep, break. We had some inducement up here, some inefficiencies that is probably going to bring price back down here. So I just had to be a little bit more aware of the 4 hour point of interest. And if I would have been way more confident in taking a short here. But because all I had was this, if I just take this off, this point right here, you can see that it just looks like we front run that zone, right? So I wasn't confident in taking shorts when we front run the zone. I would much have preferred to see this go like this, and then that, and then come down, right? So that's kind of where my mistake was, and it's just being more aware and being more prepared in the analysis and just doing what I normally do. It was just one of those days today. I kind of skipped a couple of steps, and you know, that's what it was. And so, anyways, getting back into it, you can see here, as we see price develop, it dabbles back in. Where does it dabble into? One of the guys in the group caught this right here. A nice breaker block here. You can see it dabbles into it and continues up. Again, where to? Look at these equal highs right up there, right? Boom. Tags it right there. And again, this is where my initial entry was, right? My initial short position was like that. And if I just kept that on, and now I have at least this to target down here, at least this fill the target down here, right? So I could do this, or if I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive with that approach, I could have just taken it right from that order block, right? Because again, we induced it. So you can take it from this order block because it's been induced, because it's in the extreme. It doesn't have to fill up in this level. For me, I just see a nice swing point right here. And I just knew that was a potential. And then these kind of equal highs here. So I just didn't want to take that extra risk if, you know, there's a 2 pip stop, whatever, or I can do a 5 pip stop and potentially catch this all the way down to take out all these lows and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll just take that one instead. But again, I took that limit off. And it's unfortunate that I did, because we ran this nicely. And then you can see here, if I go, yeah, we're on the 1 minute. You can see, beautiful. We have a nice inducement right here as well. If it gets above that, I'm not even too sure if it does. You can see here that we're just kind of using this level as a continuation, right? Clear continuation, trend line continuation. This is gonna get dusted. So this would have been a really good or like add-on if you wanted to take this trade. You can probably just take that right there, anywhere in that level, right? So it takes out that inducement. You can see failure to break above. Boom. So that was actually a really good trade right there. If you didn't want to set a limit there, right? You could have just waited for this, see the sweep. You can see it reacting. Okay, it's probably going to go down from here. Enter right from that, stop above there, target at least to this, right? Target at least there. Why there? Because if it's going to go up, we have a sweep up, and then we have all this inducing this FVG down here. Okay. And so I would definitely be targeting there first, and then you can leave some partials on. But ultimately, you can see here, what happens is we had a consolidation sweep. We hit that 4-hour block. We broke structure. We took it a clean swing point. We break back up. We sweep again, fill in that final, that last buy to sell right here. Look at that. Okay, that last buy to sell candle, we tagged it just gorgeously, right? Tagged it, melt. And now here, again, there's actually another potential sell opportunity if you wanted to catch this one as well. This one's a little bit more risky, to be totally fair, but you could definitely, or not risky, but it's just not the risk reward is pretty abysmal. So I wouldn't have taken that, because again, this is where I'd be targeting, right? That low. For continuations, because you have this, your low, high, low. These lows is what I would be targeting. And again, if you're anticipating that this low is going to hold London's low for the day, well, then what you're anticipating is that, look at this is going to be your range here that you're going to be targeting. And again, I've said this before, but Asian high was what I was looking at as a potential area that was going to hold, in the previous day high. So you can see all these confluences line up beautifully with this area, right? So if I just take that off, so I don't want to clutter up the screen anymore, you can see that, yeah, that was going to be a great opportunity. And let's see, it'll probably react off of this breaker block and then break down. That's what I would assume. And it didn't even actually touch it. It just kind of went down. But you can see, look at the reaction right off this liquidity pool, right off that liquidity pool. We come back up where? To come back up into here. And this is where actually I took the loss, and I'll show you where the loss was, because we swept this and we came into this block, which on a smaller time frame, you can actually refine it a little bit more. Right. So we actually came into this block. I took it before it even entered here, and I'll show you what I did. And again, this is where the L was, but it wasn't a bad trade. It wasn't a bad entry. What was bad was the analysis. At this point, I should have been focused down at this level where I was anticipating price to come down to. And so again, it was just a slip in my knowledge, or a slip in my preparation there. But right here, you can see we got a nice little sweep. No significant liquidity pool. It was just kind of an intra-session liquidity pool, So nothing's too significant. But I saw it came down with a clean leg, and I saw it really didn't sweep anything. And again, we front run that breaker, and so I was like, oh, I know that we're probably going to at least come up to here. And so, anyways, I was just looking on the smaller time frame just to see what was going on, and I saw we had a little order block right here. No gaps or anything, so I didn't take this one. And then it came down to here, and I was like, okay, let's see how it's starting to react around here, because I know that, again, we swept a couple liquidity pools right here with a nice clean leg. We'll probably come back and run above it, at least up into here, and I can at least manage my position at that time. Whereas if it's going to go up, I'll have cut the trade, and I have some range to get some potential profit out of it. And so you can see here, 1, 2. This is going to be that gap right there that we've been talking about. We broke some nice swing points. We have a nice order block right here. So I had a bunch of confluence to enter right off of here, which is what I did. I entered right there, and I said at minimum we can target 3R, right? At minimum, that's going to be a 3R trade. But if it gets up to this daily pool, this is going to be a nice 8R trade, right? It would have been super nice. We got that sweep right at the 10 o'clock, right at that news event is when it came out. I wanted to see this news event fill that initiation right there. And so basically, yeah, that's what happened. I got tagged in there. We got a nice little response, and then I got taken out like that. Okay, so just a failed attempt right there. I mean, the actual setup wasn't bad. It's just where that setup was that was bad. Like I was waiting for this level in and around this level, so I shouldn't have taken it right there, right? It just didn't make sense. Sure, yeah, there was a sweep, and I can justify it, and I can't be mad at the loss. But what I can be mad as, or what I can be maybe not mad, but a little bit frustrated at, is that I should have been in that short, first of all, and second of all, I should have waited for a larger kind of sweep into where I wanted it to go, not just kind of one tiny wick, and then that was it. So yeah, it was just one of those things. Just one of those things. Just couldn't get it right today with the decisions made. But now you have this super efficient structure right here, and you can see how much traffic is in there. So I would not be surprised to see this run back. I got off the charts at this point anyways, so I don't know actually what happens from here on out, but all I know is that price is likely to come back and feed up into this, and it's very unlikely to break through it the first time. So let's see if that actually happens, and we'll see if it gets maybe even deeper into, again, where did we enter those London longs? Right here. So this is where the volume came into the market. Would not be surprised if we get back down into this block. Like now that I'm thinking clearer and stuff, I'm able to assess that. But let's see, right? We get a nice reaction from here. Where does it go up to? There's some imbalance. You can see last order block up here, 50%. Let's see on the 1 minute, is there anything that can be refined up to? Yeah, look at that little imbalance there. I'd leave my stop loss above there, though, to be totally honest, probably just above that high. But you can see, where does that reach up into? Look at that, right? OTE. Where's your target? Is there any confluence down and around here, right? This imbalance right down there, right at that -27. Let's see if it can get down there. Yeah, look at that. See? So if I just stayed on the computer a little longer and actually like adapted and stuff, that would have been a sick trade, right? You would have been enter right there, 4 pips for 15, right? That's, or down to here for about 20. That'd be a 5R. Let's see if it gets down there. Boom, look at that. Okay, so that was another viable option for a trade. So there was definitely these ones in London, A+ in London for me, based on the daily cycle, based off of the analysis. After the 4-hour was hit, we have beautiful level right there that we could be taking a trade off of right there. We would have missed the one in the morning because it just didn't sweep up. That's fine. It sweeps up later. Could have caught that one. Sure, if I took this one, it would have been a loss. But again, I should have been more patient on where I was taking that from. And then you can scale in right there with your stop above there. Boom. And again, where would you be looking? Well, we have London lows here. So this is likely, I mean, now just the way that the daily structure is done, right? You would anticipate this move to come down in the time frame, and it should have mitigated here in the time frame, time and price. The fact that it didn't, it tells you essentially that that idea is essentially done. And so again, that's another thing why I shouldn't have entered there, right? Because again, the idea is essentially done at this point. We had the entry, right? We had the OTE set up right here. Look at that. I had the OTE set up there. Now, what do I need? Like, there's no need to force it, right? So again, that was just my mistake of today, and hopefully reviewing it can help you out as well. But we have London low right there, and we have a -1, and you can see, look at this unmitigated level, that strong low after sweeping, breaking structure, and we had all this that price could probably react from. So let's see if it does. Again, I have no idea. I haven't seen what happens. So let's see. Is it going to respect? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So it goes long from there, right? So, and that's the thing. It's like the analysis was decent. It's just the timing, right? Everything has to be correct for you to win. It has to be, the analysis has to be on point. So this, again, the 4-hour point, I should have been much more aware of, and I should have been waiting for my levels, right? So the high, if I waited for these levels, I would have been much more, or I wouldn't have taken any of those trades. I definitely wouldn't, or I wouldn't have taken this one. I definitely I only took this one anyways, this long that failed, but I wouldn't have taken that. I would have been much more adamant on taking those shorts. And then let's see if there was anything here on the smaller time frame once we get down to London low. So I don't like how it leaves the equal lows at London low, but that's again this is where the volume came into the market. And look at this, right? We have the inducement right there, this never got filled. This was the last block, right? And I'm assuming that that's what just got filled there. Look at that. Okay. So as soon as that gets filled, look at that. We have a break in structure there. No, let's see on the 2-minute. Yeah, that was the major swing point on the 2-minute. Look at that. We have inducement. Okay. And we have the last down candle before the up move. So literally this could have been your trade. It's a little bit late though, to be fair, right? A little bit late in the session, but again, I mean, it's still a valid trade. And again, where would you be looking up to? Again, that's why I was anticipating this one to at least rinse above this level and into this fair value gap up here. So if you took that one, there you go. There's your 15R for the day. So again, there were opportunities. It's just everything needs to be right for you to be smacking it. And I was just a little bit off today where, again, once this right here, I had everything right going into it. But as soon as this swept and it gave me this, I was just like, I'm like, is it going to go up from here? And if that sweeps now, it gives me another like kind of smart money trap where people would definitely be going along there. So as soon as it swept that, I was like, oh, okay, then that's probably going to go up from there. So yeah, it is what it is. But again, the analysis is kind of doing exactly what we thought. I still think, I mean, who knows, actually. I'm just going to wait it out and see how this day closes and everything. But I still believe that there is potential for us to reach up into that 2-day level. Like I still think that that's the play. I just have to be, again, more aware of the major levels. In 4 hours, a major level after a sweep. I mean, that's basically exactly what you want. And then if we take off everything, and let's go to the 4-hour again. Yeah, look at this, right? 4-hour order block. Let's go from low to high. Look at that. Right into that pocket. And so target is going to be above into that 2-day breaker, right? And then also at the same time, it's going to be up into probably somewhere in this wick is what I would assume, right? If we just take the bodies just to get a better target. Yeah, look at that, -27. And look at that, where it lies, 62, 70, 79, right here, right at that London low order block right there after the sweep. So it's kind of funny actually looking back because the analysis was right at the end of the day. It's just execution was off. And again, that's just a part of it. So anyways, it's all good. Probably going to be targeting this high, guys, is what I would assume. I still do see that there is a potential though that this gap gets filled and it gets rejected here to go take out London lows here, these equal lows now, maybe a little bit deeper in here before going up, or just a complete reversal back down into the daily imbalance, right? Because now we have a gap on the daily that probably is going to get targeted. So whether it's from up here or from current levels, we'll just have to wait and see what hand is offered to us in the coming days. But again, this was a decent level. I should have been maybe a little bit more aggressive at this level when it came down to here. But I was just, after I took that loss, I was like, it was just such a stupid loss to take right here. So I just kind of got off. But yeah, you can see it presented itself really, really nicely right at about in London close. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I wanted to kind of go over today. I hope it was good. And I hope you gained something out of it and learned something from my mistakes as well. Just essentially be more prepared, have the levels, be aware of the levels, and just trust your confidence, or trust your strategy, trust your abilities. I knew price was going to come back down to this level, but I kind of second guessed it how it was developing intraday. So yeah, just have confidence on it and then adapt and grow. So that's all we can do. I hope you guys got something out of it at least. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers. Thanks so much for all the messages and stuff again. Super appreciative of y'all. And yeah, thanks guys. We'll chat soon. Cheers.